July 17th, July 24th, July 31st, August 7th, August 14th, August 21st, and August 28th.
Make a motion that we approve all the minutes.
I'll second.
The motion, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item A, contract with Hawk Enterprises, Inc. for the Field Street lighting improvements, Calumet Avenue to Reverend A.R. Burns Drive.
Contracts for $202,757.20. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor? Ayes have it. Item B, contract with Reeve Riley Construction for ADA ramps and sidewalk along 171st Street corridor.
This contract's for $349,865. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contract.
Second.
Motion, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item C, business license revocation hearing, Star Foods, 1205 Chicago Street.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Go inside on behalf of Star Foods. We're going to ask to pass that for a moment. Trying to reach the client now.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item D, disposal authorization submitted by the Hammond Police Department.
Motion that we approve their request.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item E, notice of violation, hearing on property located at 1704 Indianapolis Boulevard.
What we're asking for is the removal of an 11th unit found during an inspection of this property. As noted in the permit history, this property was built as a 10-unit apartment building. During an inspection, an 11th unit was found completely unidentical to the remainder of the building. All other 10 units are identical in construction as far as bedrooms, kitchen location, living room, and such. So it's been determined by our department that there was never any permits pulled to convert this space on the ground floor to an apartment. The owners are cooperating. We have come to agreement to remove that kitchen that is down there. The bathroom will be allowed to stay in the subsequent room. We believe that this area was created as an office space for this apartment complex, so potential tenants can come, look over legal documentation, sign leases and such. So the owner is willing to cooperate, remove that 11th unit that was found. You can see in the last set of pictures the construction of one of the 10 other units, and then the previous pictures reflect the 11th unit, which are completely different.
Are you going to generate, building, going to generate an agreement with the property owner?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we'll take it under advisement. Item F, notice of violation hearing in property located at 2472 Birch Avenue.
Morning. I came here because when we purchased the property, sir, that property already had that unit built in it. And we weren't aware if they had any, thank you, if they had any reports or anything being done on it. You know, we just purchased a property, we thought it was okay. So now we're found with this problem that we have, and we're trying to comply with whatever you guys want us to do.
I have been in touch with the owner. He is willing to remove, it's a first floor front apartment. The property was built in, I believe, 1929 as a 6-room brick residence. Currently it sits as a 3-unit. The owner lives on the 2nd floor unit, and then I believe his daughter or son lives in the 1st floor rear unit. So there's a wall created to divide the 1st floor into 2 separate apartments. The front was a studio apartment with kitchen and bath, and then just an open space. The front unit actually has a closet with a door in it, which you could open and then access the back unit. So what we were assuming is that was just constructed. There was no permits ever built to create that front unit. The owner has been cooperating and getting everything taken care of. We're working with them on a time frame. There was one permit pulled in 1948 to remodel the residence. However, if you look in the permit books, you can see in the electrical book that there was no electrical permit pulled during that remodel, so we can conclude that that remodel permit wouldn't have been for an additional apartment, or else an electrical permit would have had to been pulled to create an additional service there. So what we're asking for is that the board affirm the removal of the first floor front apartment based on the fact that there are no permits, fire separation for creation.
Are you in agreement with
Yes, sir.
that? Very good.
With how much is the time limit?
We'll work on, as long as it's vacant, then, we can work on getting it brought back up to code, okay?
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Agreed to remove it, so.
Make a motion that we approve their findings.
Second?
Motion second, all in favor? Ayes have it. Item G, hearing on property located at 1118 167.
Working with the owner of this property, here before the gentleman said that he was going to be entering into a sales agreement with another party, and Mr. Cruz, I believe you said something about a sales disclosure that this case was ongoing. We'd like to affirm the removal of the basement apartment. It's 6669, egress issues, no permit to convert. The second floor, however, could possibly be a viable 2-unit. It's zoned as such, but there's going to be some improvements that need to happen as far as the egress stairs, ceiling height, width of the stairs, and increased fire separation. The second floor is unoccupied. At the same time, before we put somebody in there, we'd like to make sure that whoever's going to buy it, or if the owner now, is going to take care of those issues. The fact that he isn't here, I don't know what the status of that sale is.
Nobody's here from the property?
1118 167th Street.
So what's your recommendation?
As such, since the gentleman's not here and we're unaware of who's going to be buying the property, we're willing to put alerts into the system for the second unit to either have them bring it to current code or to bring it back to a single-family home. My finding an order is for the basement apartment, cellar apartment.
What's your pleasure?
Make a motion that we approve their findings.
And we'll take care of the issue with the second apartment before anybody occupies it. Thank you.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Item H, rental registration hearing on property located at 5331 Beale. I'm sorry, 5531 Beale.
Morning. I'm actually here to see if the late fees can be waived. I've never rented my house out, and I just rented it last year in November. I didn't know that I had to register it. I'm not making any money off of it. It's just a pass-through cost on the mortgage.
So you lived there before November?
Yes.
How many units is it?
Just one.
And this is the only one that you own and rent out?
Yes. I'm sorry? Oh.
Chris?
All right.
Ellie? Anyone?
5531 Beale?
Yes.
All right, we have a homestead that was filed in 13 and 14. So there might be the reason she didn't get notice is she's claiming a homestead on a rental property. She has a lease starting 11/1/13 with Violeta Sanchez and Esther Bernal. Right, no, so I'm just saying, that's why she didn't get a notice, she's got a homestead exemption on it. She's claiming this is her house.
Now,
Thank you.
Okay.
you live on Ridgewood now?
Yes.
You'll have to take that homestead up with the county.
No, I'm just saying, but that's the reason she's not getting notices is because,
Just from now on, you have to register it every year before you go 15.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we waive the late fee, but the rental must be registered at $80.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Rental registration hearing on property located at 934 Summer Street. 934 Summer.
Morning.
Morning.
Yes, to my property, I did not rent it all this year. I have my utility bills, showing that I did not rent my property. I was trying to rent it, and I came to apply for a rental registration, and then I was told that I had to come here. So I have all of my receipts.
This whole year of 2014, nobody's living in it at all?
No.
Mr. President, she wants to fill in an affidavit saying that it's not a rental, she can do that down in the basement. And as soon as it becomes a rental, or however she needs to register.
All right, so I was trying to apply for registration this year, and then they told me to come here.
How many units is it?
It's one house.
Is there anyone in that house now?
No.
So ma'am, if you go in the basement, fill out the affidavit that the property was not rented, and it's not rented, the board's going to take action on this now.
Make a motion to dismiss?
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item I. Rental registration hearing on property located at 934 Summer. Oh, I'm sorry, we just did Summer. Item J, rental registration hearing on property located at 4924 Pine.
Good morning.
Sir.
This property, I bought it in April or May last year, and I never rented and I sold the house to my cousin, and she rented at the beginning of January this year.
Did she pay you rent?
To me, no.
Did she pay you rent?
No, she rented to someone else.
She owns it now. Oh, so you don't own it anymore?
No,
But she did rent it for a few months, or
no.
you said,
I buy the house in April, and I fixed it
Of what year?
Last year.
last year, sorry. And I sold it to my cousin, and then she rented at the beginning of the year. I have the,
rented it to somebody else?
yes, she rented to
You're
someone.
not even the legal owner anymore?
No,
Name's still showing up on the paperwork, which is be a problem. So really, we need to dismiss the failure to rental action against Frederico Valley. We need to now bring an action against his sister.
my cousin.
Your cousin.
Yeah, actually, I received a letter like 2 days ago from my cousin, and I have it with me.
Sir, so you sold the property here, is it under contract? Is it still in your name? And she's like making payments, or
No, no, no.
so she's the official owner? You got
She's the
nothing
owner,
to do with it?
yes.
Make a motion to dismiss action. We'll have to find out who the owner is.
Motion?
Okay, well, I have the letter of, a new letter from my cousin.
Okay, well, she'll have to come in and do her legal stuff, the guys downstairs.
Okay.
Motion?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item K, rental registration hearing on property located at 4721 Cedar Avenue.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
The apartment that I have is just one of my property, and it was got empty last year around November, and it sat empty for about 4 months. And then my daughter asked me if she could move in because she lost her job, and she didn't have no money to pay rent. So I let her stay till about 5 weeks ago that she moved out. And I didn't make any money on that property all this time. And now that she moved out, I fixed it up again, and I was ready to put it for rent again. I came here about a month and a half ago to pay for the registration of the apartment, and that's when they told me I have to come over here, explain why I didn't register when I was supposed to. And the reason I didn't do that, like I said, is because it was not being rented out. There's a family member living in there. And
From now on, if you ever decide to rent it out to a family member, there's a waiver that you can sign downstairs that you're not collecting any rent.
they told me that about a month and a half ago that I came here to pay for the registration, and I told them I didn't have no idea or know that I had to do that, but now I do.
What's your pleasure?
The apartment is still sits empty right now.
So you really weren't collecting any rent for this whole year?
How many units are this?
That's just one.
Chris?
Smith?
I have it being 2 units.
Well, he lives in one and there's a unit
Okay, so
upstairs.
yes, 1 rental unit. He'll need to fill out an affidavit for the period it wasn't registered, and he'll need to register for the period it is rented.
If he rents it again.
Right,
It's currently not running.
right, but if he rents it out tomorrow, he's still gonna come and register.
So right now I don't have to pay, or could I pay, or what?
Okay, but you have to,
He's gonna fill out the affidavit.
ground floor, fill out the affidavit.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor? Ayes have it, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item L, rental registration hearing on property located at 2016 Calumet Avenue. 2016 Calumet.
What's that, one of them? This came last week. This last week, didn't we, Kelly?
Yes, Mr. Chacon?
Right, yeah, we sent it over for some reason.
No, it was actually, I don't believe he got proper notice at that time. The citation and time for the hearing was so close together. We did an inspection on the property. Tenants were there, had been there for some time. Mr. Chacon also has a couple other properties that are in
This the last
question.
meeting you guys did the inspection?
Before, that's how we ended up citing for rental registration. We did the inspection and the tenants were there.
The tenant's called to complain. The notes indicate that the tenant, Michelle, answered the door and was saying she was having problems with the landlord and the plumbing issues and the smell of sewer gas entering the home.
How many, just single,
Single family home,
how many years? Every year?
last year.
Just last year. Make a motion that we
This year.
assess late fee and the $80 rental fee.
Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes
Thank you.
have it, thank you.
Kelly, 14?
Yes.
Item M, rental registration hearing on property located at 6650 Arizona. Morning.
Good morning. I actually sold the house. I'm not renting it. I sold it. I have a copy of the sale as of December of 13, so I never rented.
Just further, we just have it as a non-recorded land contract. You, me, and everybody knows a non-recorded land contract is just the way to get somebody to pay a security deposit that you keep without having to follow the rules to give it back. So is the land contract recorded?
I never recorded. The reason I didn't record it is I still have a mortgage over it, and I was afraid that they would want everything to be paid up front. But I can. If that's what I need to do, I'll do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's a non-recorded land contract is the lease. Recorded land contract is the land.
But you understand a due on sale clause in a mortgage is the reason people do not.
Right, well, that's so
Land
they can
contract.
not have to do the security deposit back in because now it's a down payment.
So technically, she's still the owner.
Yes, sure.
We had a situation with the property, she's the one that's going to be cited under tenant for contract.
So then I should file. I mean, I'd be happy to file if that's what I need to do. I just didn't realize anything in regards to rental or the fact that I had to file it. I have a copy here.
She's recorded for your own safety also.
Okay, I can do that today.
They would be responsible for party.
The people you're selling for, are they living in it?
Yes.
Chris? Question.
You want to set this over?
Question. If she brings in the land contract, signs a waiver that the property is, is not being rented,
I thought that you want me to say that? If you bring the copy of the land contract, that's it. Okay, yeah, I mean, we can do that.
I mean, it's a legal position that Kelly's offering her, but, it's not necessarily correct. And I mean, due on sale contract, I mean, people who want to have their mortgage mortgages call when they sell more, and yeah, she's at risk, but we shouldn't advise her that. I mean, she brings a contract in, gives you the contract, shows that there's a contract sale on the property, I think it meets the needs of rental registration.
I respect your opinion on this, obviously, you know, being a realtor, she can either register it as already paid a late fee, or let her register it at this point, or record it, and then that person becomes responsible, for the property.
She's not running it.
Pardon?
She's not running it.
She's not, doesn't have a recorded contract either, she's still responsible for the
Doesn't
property.
have to be recorded, Kelly.
I understand that, then it's a tenant, then it's a lease.
Well, the problem we've run into with the building department is we have a lot of landlords who are savvy, who don't record them on purpose, so they don't have to foreclose, they just keep the person out and keep the security deposit without the 45-day notice as a down payment. So, we did their motion to protect.
I appreciate that.
So as long as she brings in a copy of the contract, attaches it to her affidavit, and lets the building department know, and gives her the contact information, it won't be a problem. Want to send it over for a couple weeks, or do you want to trust that she'll do it? It's up to you.
I mean, if you can bring the contract in,
Yeah, I have the contract with me.
We could probably take care of this today, then we could dismiss the action.
Motion to dismiss action.
Thank you.
motion second, all in favor? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So where do I go?
You'll contact me, so we can go with her.
Item N, rental registration hearing on property located at 5241 State Line Avenue.
I rented this property, my tenant moved out in September 2013, and then I re-rented it in December of 2013, but the new tenant abandoned the property April 1st and put my keys in the mailbox and sent me a text message that your keys are in the mailbox. So I just got a new lease on it September 1st, the property wasn't rented.
So from April to September of this year, you weren't.
Right, and I came in August to get the the rental sticker, and they told me I couldn't, I had to come here. And then yesterday in the mail, I got a letter from a lawyer saying that I have to pay $1,000 for a late fee for not having the sticker. I was sent to collections.
Well, we don't prorate. If she had it rented to a tenant from January 1st to April 1st, that counts for 2014. Unless we're talking about 13. So she had to register for one day in 2014. She needs to have a.
No, I didn't because he moved out April 1st, 2014. And sent.
January till April, you're still responsible to register for 2014. You had it rented January, February, March.
Well, do they give you to the 15th of April?
Well, so we're talking about 13. She did not have a sticker for 13?
No, it says through 2014.
She says, you want to read her letter? She said she's got to pay for $1,000.
Right, it's collections for not registering.
But they told me I had to come to court first. They wouldn't even let me buy the sticker. And when I told them I normally get a card in the mail stating to come in, and they told me on the first floor, we have over 10,000 rentals. We don't have time to send out stickers. And then they told me to go to the law department.
We're actually notices we're on the water bill this year.
And I don't pay the water. The tenant pays the water. But the property was vacant from April 1st to September 1st.
All right, so it's rented right now?
Yes,
Is it single, one unit?
yes.
Make a motion, we waive the late fee, but the registered unit must be registered AD.
Motion? Second. All in favor? Ayes have it.
Okay, so just go downstairs. Okay, thank you.
Ashley, ma'am?
We'll wait after the meeting and we'll give you a copy.
Wait till after the meeting, if you would. Thank you. Item O, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 3331 176th Place, and agreement to rehab property at 2408 Birch Avenue.
Mr. President, most of the properties are on the demolition list. 3331 is a brand new agreement to rehabilitate. 2408 Birch is an extension of a previously existing agreement to rehabilitate. And I would just ask that you approve both of those.
Motion to approve.
Motion? Second. All in favor? Aye. Ayes have it. Out of curiosity, whatever happened to the property on Sibley that was about to be demolished?
Oh, it's It's gonna be demolished. We're
Did they stop the demolition on that? Remember that case of that property?
It's Hoffman.
Or Hoffman? All right.
That came down.
Oh, yeah, there was an extension of the rehab agreement, 30 days. I don't know if the 30 days is up yet.
Thank you.
Probably gonna eventually come in.
A few streets. Item P, correspondence received from World Wide Web regarding an increase in cost of service.
Mr. President, they're just sending a letter out to all of their customers, and they just wanted to be courteous and let us know what the letter contains. It's about an increase in rates.
Yeah, they're not regulated by the city anymore, they're regulated by the state, so we don't really have any authority.
Courtesy in case we get a call.
So noted. Item Q, payroll records received from ST Bancroft Electric.
They submitted that because they're under contract with, with the city.
Okay.
So that really didn't need to get on the Board of Works. We should have just reviewed that at engineering. So I'd like to make a motion that be forwarded down to engineering.
Motion second, all in favor? Ayes have it. Garage sale permits.
Motion to approve them all?
Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Item 6, any matters from board members?
Mr. President, can we go back up to see if?
Oh, yes, I'm
Well, we can let the board members go and we can move on.
Yeah, we have one matter here. It's a letter from Kurt Bosty, and it looks like he wants to reschedule his hearings, October 23rd, and let's see. Accordingly, we've agreed that on October 23rd, we will have the hearing on 915 Michigan, on November 13th, the hearing at 6609 Jefferson, and on December 11th, the hearing at 4841 Elm.
Mr. President, they were all three set for October 23rd, and we agreed to spread them out so that we wouldn't be wrong.
So we need to make a motion to reschedule those.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Can I add something for the board's knowledge? On the Jefferson one, he's delayed it a number of times in the past, saying that he has to put me under deposition. He's not done so. I told him that he can at any time he wants. I'm going to undergo a deposition. So if he gets here in November and says he wants to delay it because he hasn't opposed me, I'm ready to be deposed.
Very good, so noted for the record. Back to item C. Business license revocation hearing, Star Foods, 1205 Chicago Street.
City's ready to proceed, Mr. President. This is a revocation of a business license.
Good morning, Glenn Sidnessi, IDEN, appearing pro hoc with?
Attorney Steve Haddad, HADDAD.
You're on the air.
Okay, well, complaint is that he is believed to have sold some substance that is illegal substance. He has not. His indication is that he had some substances that were taken off the shelf, placed into storage once they were made illegal, and that somebody came in and took one. So without some kind of direct evidence, we do have an issue.
All right. City's gonna call Officer Young. All right, Officer, you please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that the firm that the testimony you're about to give in this hearing may be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'd like to direct your attention back to April of 2014, and I'm going to be referring to Star Foods, which is located in the city of Hammond, 1205 Chicago Street. Are you familiar with that location?
I am familiar. I believe at the time the name of the business was FA Foods.
How is it that you came to be associated with this location and this property?
The Hammond Police conducted an investigation into the sale of synthetic marijuana.
Now, there have been previous sales of synthetic marijuana that you were not involved with back in 2012, is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was at the same location, 1205 Chicago, under whatever name it was operating.
That's correct.
So, bless you. What was the nature of your investigation?
We had a cooperating individual who purchased a package of,
I don't know, are we allowed to object? If,
Let him say this.
very good.
All right, just continue. You had a confidential informant that went into 1205 Chicago Street for the purpose of purchasing illegal substances?
that's correct.
Was he successful in his venture?
Objection. Unless there's some direct evidence that he viewed that, he doesn't know if he was successful in the adventure.
I'll clarify. The individual that you sent in, did you send him in with money?
Yes,
Did he return with a product?
yes, he did.
What was the product he returned with?
It was a package of synthetic plant-like material.
Okay. Did he have to say who he bought it from inside the place or no?
Yes, he did.
Based on that information, what did you do next?
Furthered our investigation by applying for a search warrant for the business.
All right, and that was an affidavit of search warrant, was it Evie Gonzalez, Sibyl Gonzalez?
No.
Was it you?
Yes, it was me.
Okay. You applied for a search warrant, and where did you get the search warrant from?
Lake Superior Court.
And the search warrant was to search 1205 Chicago Avenue for what substances?
Controlled substances.
And the search warrant was 11 of April 2013, no, it's 2013, that's the old one, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What was the date of the new search warrant?
16th of June, 2014.
Now, was that search warrant served?
Yes, it was.
And was anything recovered from that search warrant?
Several packages of synthetic plant-like material, along with other items.
Okay. What were those other items on the search warrant, is that correct?
It's on the search warrant return.
What items were recovered?
There was a handgun, ammunition, miscellaneous checks and receipts, keys, and United States currency.
I have a quick question. Now, where were these items retrieved during the execution of the search warrant, which is from June of 2014?
Well, can we limit that to the suspect controlled substance, because there's no charge with regard to the currency, the receipts, handgun or ammunition?
Mr. President, we're trying to license revocation. This isn't a criminal charge. The basis of the revocation is whether or not illegal activity was occurring at 1205 Chicago Avenue. So if any illegal activity was occurring at 1205 Chicago Avenue, it is relevant for the purpose of this hearing, which is just to pull his business license.
Respectfully, I read the charge or the complaint, and it indicated that there was a sale of controlled substance or suspect controlled substance. There was nothing in there with regard to a handgun, receipts, or currency. So if that's indeed the case, then we have no notice of the charge.
So, Officer Dunn, you filed a return of search warrant with the court on the 16th day of June?
Yes,
And then that return of search warrant, you listed the items that you found.
that's correct.
Was any time was the return of search warrant given to the defendant?
No, not to return.
Okay, was the affidavit for search warrant and the warrant itself given to the defendant?
No.
Where were the items found inside of the store?
Behind the main counter.
Who was behind the main counter when they were found?
The defendant.
Could you point to him, please?
Yes, he's right here.
We stipulate that.
Could you please tell me his name?
I'd have to have the correct pronunciation, but I believe it to be Fayez Abuzzer.
Okay. And the individual who was behind the counter and in control of the establishment on the day you executed the search warrant in June, he is the individual standing right there with the hands crossed?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, when you executed the search warrant, did he make any statements, if you recall?
No, he did not. Outside of basic information for booking process.
Where were these items located inside the store?
Behind the counter.
Behind the counter, so they weren't put away in a safe, they weren't stored off-site, they weren't in the trunk of the car, they were in the cash register, or behind the cash register with the cigarettes, the magazines, and the candy bars?
Let me see. We have the officer, please respond to the question rather than counsel testifying.
Well, you were there, officer, right?
Yes, I was.
Tell me, just describe the inside of the place. It's not a very large place, is it?
No, it's a small convenience store style
And
business.
the substances that you seized pursuant to your search where were they located in proximity to the other items?
They were located in a safe.
They were located in the safe?
The synthetic material, I don't have to go through, but I believe it was located in a safe.
Okay, were there any that were not located in the safe?
As I said, I have to review my notes.
Where was the key to the safe?
It was found on the defendant.
The substances that were found in the safe, was it the same substance that your controlled by revealed?
The substances were sent to the lab, so I can't tell you exactly at the time if they were the same exact substances.
They were sent to the lab, and that would be the Indiana State Police Laboratory Division?
That's correct.
Now, you actually sent samples down there twice, is that correct?
That's correct.
The first time you sent samples down was earlier in the spring, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what did the lab results come up with?
All of
Can we
the
please have a date on that?
May 30th, that's the last time we had it. Do you have the dates for the lab results, the first sample that was sent down?
Yes, it would be August 19th. The certificate analysis is dated August 19th, 2014.
And that certificate analysis was a partial analysis, is that correct?
Of the items seized, or
How can you send it twice?
the items weren't sent twice. There was, items were sent separately from the two separate incidents.
Okay, so everything that was seized was sent to the lab, and they performed two separate analyses.
No, they performed one analysis on the two separate items given to them.
Okay. And what was the result of the analysis?
From the first submission to the state lab, they tested several packages. The first submission, as I said, the certificate of analysis is dated for August 19th, 2014. I can get you the date it was actually submitted here shortly.
Did the analysis reveal that there was controlled substances?
Yes.
Is there an ordinance in the city of Hammond that prohibits this sale?
Yes.
And does this business have a license or is subject to the licensing requirements of the city of Hammond?
I'm sorry.
This business, this type of business, does it have a Hammond business license?
I believe so.
Is there anything further you wish to add about this?
No.
All right, I pass the witness for cross-examination.
It's Officer Young?
Yes.
Yes. Officer, on time, date in question, it was April 14th. You sent somebody into the location?
I'll have to review my notes.
Please take a look. It's perfectly all right.
The controlled purchase took place on June 11th.
June 11th. All right. So on June 11th, and was that, that wasn't with you, that was with somebody who, somebody who was working with you that day?
Yes, I was with him.
Was that a civilian?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And did you search him before sending him in?
Correct.
And how much money did you give him?
He was outfitted with $20 for official advance fund.
Okay, when he returned from the store, he had something with him? That was
Correct.
a suspect controlled substance, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and how much money did he have on that time?
He had no money.
All right. When he went into the store, could you maintain surveillance of him as he walked into the store?
Yes, I'd like to make note it could, the cooperating individual is be a male or female
For the purposes of my discussion, I just use the male gender, but I don't, that's fine. Where were you located when you had the confidential informant go into the store?
I was right in front of us.
Okay, were you outside the business? Yes. Okay, and were you on the same side of the street as the business?
Yes, correct.
And what's the front of the business look like?
It is a white business with two glass doors entryway.
Are there signs on the doors?
I don't remember any.
Are there any posters or advertisements on any of the windows or signs on the doors?
I don't recall.
Okay. And when the individual walked into the store, did you have occasion to see that individual?
Yes,
Okay. And did you maintain your view of that individual at all times?
until she went into the store.
Okay. And after they went into that individual went into the store, you no longer could observe them. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And the next time you saw that individual was when that individual came out of the store?
Correct.
How much time elapsed during that period of that you were unable to observe that confidential informant?
That individual went inside the store less than 2 minutes and returned to my vehicle.
Okay. During that time, did you see whether or not Mr. Abazier opened the safe to retrieve anything?
No,
All right. You did not see the movements of the confidential informant, is that correct?
that's correct.
Was the informant at that time under any legal disability such as a charge or have any other kind of charges pending?
Yes,
Okay, so that person, the result of that person's work that day would have had an impact on that individual's, the outcome of that individual's charges against that individual, is that right?
potentially, yes.
Okay. So there was okay, when the person was sent in, was the person sent in to come back with a controlled substance? Those days, Scooby packs or whatever they're called?
That's correct.
Okay. Those are little packets, small packets of colorful cartoon characters with barcodes on them that actually say not for human consumption on them?
Some do, some don't. There's several different types.
Okay. Now, this store, you had indicated, had been the subject of investigation about a year earlier, is that right?
I'm not sure the date, but it was.
2 years earlier, I'm sorry. And did you know whether or not that individual who had operated the store had removed those packages at the time that they were the subject of the previous investigation and placed them in a safe so that they would not be available for the access to the public?
At the time of that execution of search warrant, all of those items were seized by the police.
Okay, and when you came in, items that were there were in a locked safe, is that correct?
Yes,
And you had to remove the keys from Mr. Abazier to open the safe to retrieve these packets, is that right?
that's correct.
Okay. But you did not have an opportunity to observe your informant purchasing these packages, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So if the informant were there any other parties or persons in the store at the time that informant entered the store?
During the debriefing with the cooperating individuals, there were no other individuals in the store.
That you learned from the informant?
Yes.
That's what they told you? Okay. All right. Do you have any, you made no observation how that person came into possession of the packet that they left the store and presented to you, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And the store was F&A Foods or FA Foods?
Yes,
Thank you very much, officer. I appreciate your time.
Just a couple redirect. Officer Young, how long have you been a police officer?
17 years.
In your 17 years of experience, have you ever had substances seized at a search warrant that were then returned to an individual so we could keep them in the safe?
I'll withdraw that. Go ahead.
So if the Hammond Police would have seized large quantities of Scooby snacks from a location in 2012 or 13, they wouldn't then give them back to him so we could put them in a safe for safekeeping after that date, would they?
No.
Well, okay. That kind of calls for speculation, but
Now, the confidential informant, you wrote a report based on a confidential informant statements, correct?
Correct.
And your report indicates that the confidential informant bought from somebody known as Frank. And Frank is described as an older brown complected male with grayish hair.
That's correct.
Do you recall writing that down?
Yes.
So the confidential informant didn't tell you that he snuck out the back, went to a different store, and used the $20 to buy fake weed from Round City?
No. directly across the street.
This is this is all new information.
President, where the place is located hasn't changed in probably 50 years.
Yeah, but the series of questions going back and forth, usually the primary series of questions have to be asked on direct examination the first time, otherwise we're never quite finished.
Mr. President, if you have a series of questions that indicate that the confidential form may have snuck out through the roof and purchased it somewhere else, and I just want to establish that there is nothing else around there where a person could purchase it except a public park. And that's the basis. I'm almost finished. So, the confidential form, you didn't simply go out through a back door, run and go to a different store, and buy fake weed, sneak back into the back door, come back out to the front where you were, right?
Correct, no.
So the only place the person went that you gave $20 to was inside the 1205 Chicago, correct?
Correct.
And then they came back out.
Correct.
And they didn't detour,
Well,
that you observed.
Yes, in the front of the business.
And even if they went out with that business, is there anything around there to buy? Anything, anywhere?
There's a liquor store.
Well, say Hills. I have nothing further.
briefly, officer, how many other people were in the store at the time that you made your observations?
I was not in the store.
Okay, so there could have been more than one person in the store?
During the debriefing of the cooperating individuals, there were no other
Okay.
individuals in the store.
Do you understand my question?
No.
How many people did you observe in the store at the time he went in?
None, I was not in the store.
Okay, so you, aside from what he told you or she told you, you made no observation as to whether or not there were other people in the store?
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I have. Thank you.
Would you like to call Frank? The owner of the store?
Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We're going to, there is a case pending across the hall, which possibly could have criminal impact. Is there, therefore, Mr. Aventura is going to execute or present advances to the amendment rights and not testify, choose to testify on the grounds that his testimony could actually incriminate him.
That's when that's completely right. I would only proffer that his testimony would be that he was the only person in the store that kind of confidential information. I see if no witnesses to the rest.
Yes, we have.
Motion to take it under advisement for 30 days.
Second motion, second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you for allowing us to get it. Thank you.
Any other matters, board members? Any other matters from department heads or the representative? Any other matters from department heads? Any new business? Any old business? Meeting is open to the public.
Hi, my name is Ken Morrison again, and I was the one that offered to purchase the, oh, okay. I just came here to inform you that in my research, apparently when you bought this rail line, you went up to the 25th section line, and that line, ironically, is about 70 feet south of the railroad span. So I guess you are right that that particular piece of property you didn't own. And upon, the county doesn't really know, but in the state of, or on the capital of Indianapolis, they informed me that it is owned by the railroad. So I am negotiating with Norfolk Southern, and hopefully within, I just came here to inform you that hopefully within the next 60 days or so, I'll probably remove this structure. So,
Good luck to you, sir.
all right.
You have access to it to get to it?
Yeah, well, that's, I have to cross, you do own that land adjacent to the recycler there, Northside Recycling. I don't know how that happened, but you did north of the Indiana Harbor tracks. You own that all the way up to about 70 feet from the bridge. So I guess I technically will, I could you know, the old railway embankment, I could use that to remove some of those structure on this side of the river. The other side, I have to have Norfolk Southern's permission to remove. All right.
You work some out with North Lake, just take the crap right there. Anyone else in the public? Yes, sir.
I came kind of late because I went to the other courtroom. I would like to know you guys have called Jesus Chacon.
Called it 2016 Calumet?
Yes, sir.
Actually, we imposed the one-year fine of $500 and an $80 charge to pay also.
Okay, I would like to know why is the $500 and why is the $80 because I got explanation for both of them.
$80 the yearly rate that we charge.
Okay,
People that
I have a rented place, so there's no $80 charges.
All right, well, Chris,
$500 is when you're in, yes.
we have our people from building we're hearing, we're supposed to your tenant.
No, there's no tenants there. They went into the place.
Chris, the problem is, the inspectors have gone. Mr. Capone has gotten here late. The tenant is the one who called the inspectors and was told by the landlord to lie and say it was not a rental if
No.
they showed up. So I really think we need to have all the parties here before we have this hearing.
The place is empty, Your Honor, empty.
All right, well, you'll have to contact the law department to reschedule something.
And also, I can prove it by bringing NIPSCO bills, nothing but $30, $40 a month. No, it's no families
Is it
living there.
appropriate to rescind what we did earlier and
No, just leave
reset
it.
this?
I would leave it until we have the hearing. It's,
You'll have to contact the law department to reschedule another hearing.
we can just pick another date. We just have to let the building department know the next date. We could do it, what is it, 16th? We could do it next week. We could do it 2 weeks from now, whenever you want to do it.
Make motion, we have this on the 23rd.
Yeah.
Motion?
And we could have the building department here.
And I would like to also know who called, because that's a lie. And I don't want to proceed this in a different matter.
We'll find out next Thursday.
Sure, why not? Next Thursday, is next Thursday at 9 o'clock? Thank you.
Next Thursday, 9 o'clock, this room.
What should I bring, NIPSCO bills too?
Whatever you think
Yeah,
you need to
because,
bring.
yes, sir.
Whatever evidence you have, sir.
9 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else from the public?
Adjourn.
Second. Motion second, all in favor? Aye.